We're now halfway through 2025 and I'm starting to see some shifts in the neutral colours that are coming onto the market and are becoming more popular. So today's video, I am sharing you an insight into the future with 5 of my predictions on the best neutrals that are going to ensure that your interior stays trendy as we move through to 2026. Like them or hate them, a good neutral can literally do wonders for your interior. Not only are they great colours for long open plan spaces, but if you have a room which is a north aspect or particularly dark early in the morning or in the evening, depending on your position, the right neutral will make your space feel more warmer, welcoming, and you have the opportunity to bring the rest of your colour in to the other areas of your space. So up until now, we have been seeing so many different types of neutrals on the market. Back in 2020, we were very heavily led by greys, often kind of ranging from your more softer tones all the way to your mid and darker greys. Now the thing about greys is they're very, very cool, and unless you have a very sunny south-facing room that's going to balance the intensity, it's really not great for a north-facing room. And then over the last couple of years, we have been seeing a big movement into your very kind of beige, almost soft taupes and very, very yellow based undertones, which are predominantly very good for north facing rooms when you are picking off whites. And yes, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of neutrals on the market. So where on earth do you start? Now I'm going to dive in with 5 very, very trendy neutrals, which if you paint them in your interior today, they're still going to be popular and very on trend next year, and hopefully a little bit ahead of the curve here of what I'm seeing. Now, up until present, if you're looking for a neutral which is warm and welcoming and it's going to work in, you know, north facing, south facing, I've always recommended that you go for a yellow, a red, a pink, and sometimes a green undertone. And whilst this will always forever be true, when we look at things from a trend point of view, we're actually starting to see a shift in the colours, and some of the neutrals that are going to be the best for adapting to all kinds of spaces are ones that share undertones with each other. And this is specifically neutrals which have both warm and cool tones within them, which means that they create a perfect balance between having a little bit of a coolness to them, a little bit of a warmth, and it generally does make them perfect for any orientation. Now, kicking off at number 1, before we move into kind of the more balanced tones, we are seeing a big shift away from yellow based undertones to those that have very warm pink or red undertones. Rentals are predominantly painted in a magnolia colour, and for me as well, I'm really not a huge fan of yellow based undertones, and although butter yellow has been really, really popular in this last year, we're seeking these warmer, kind of earthier shades. And whilst earthy interior design is so popular this year, we really are seeing that in the neutrals people are choosing. And that is pink-based undertone whites and kind of almost your plaster pinks, but very, very lighter. So they come across as more of a neutral. Now, Weekender is one that I actually have in our spare bedroom. It's north facing, incredibly dark. It literally gets no light at all. It's a perfect bridge between a warm neutral, but it has a light pink undertone to it. And in certain lights, it kind of has this warm cappuccino coffee colour, and in other lights, it has a pink. And you can go darker with your pink if you want to, and you can see the difference here. We've got Factor 50. These 2 paint shades here are by Coat Paints, only available in the UK at present. And if you want something a little bit warmer, a little bit feeling a bit more feminine, Factor 50 is a great one. Colour drench your space. I've colour drenched ours in Weekender, and it's just created the coziest feel. You don't feel boxed in, it's warm, it's welcoming, and because this room gets virtually no light anyway, it just it works a little bit harder for my room. So any neutrals next year, pink based undertone over yellows. Now, my second one that I have is a Benjamin Moore shade, super popular at the moment. It's called Revere Pewter. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. And this is what I'm talking about with the balance between cool and warm tones. This shade is a perfect example. It's got both warm and cool undertones to it for a perfect bridge, a perfect balancing act. If you've got a north facing room, or perhaps you've got an east facing room, very, very light in the morning but very dark in the evening, this shade's got a metamorphic quality to it, and it's going to make sure that during those 2 aspects that you're experiencing during the day, it's going to work to help support that. So very, very sunny in the earlier part of the day, the cooler tones in this neutral are going to help balance that and make it feel a little bit more welcoming and not so clinical. It's kind of got a sandy mushroom beige kind of demeanour to it, and again it has this metamorphic quality which is going to change throughout the course of the day. So if you're not too sure about it, I do always recommend grabbing a tester pot before, specifically being able to move colour around to your darker corners so you can see how it performs. Now coming in at number 3, we are kind of going back to our 2020 roots with a little bit of a greyish colour here. But this is when it is in tandem with a more warmer undertone such as red. And I have this shade here by Coat Paints, which is Amateur Ceramics. This is a really great example. It's got a terracotta warmth to it, but it has both red and grey notes. And the result of that is it's going to have that metamorphic quality to it. It's going to balance between the cooler notes that you're experiencing in the day to the more warmer and harsher kind of sunlight that's coming through. And it's just got a perfect bridge. It's not too pink at all, despite having that red undertone. And the result is more of a really warm greige. And this is just a great example of a shade. I will pop some more paint examples in the caption below for other paint brands, because I know if you're watching from the US, you're not going to be able to get this paint shade. So I will give you some more examples, but this is just gorgeous. Very similar to Weekender, but it's kind of less pink. Number 4 is one of my fail-safe neutrals that I recommend time and time again. I have it in the room behind me here, in a north-facing room again, and this is Farrow & Ball Oxford Stone. This is part of their red-based neutrals, very, very sophisticated palette. And what I experience in my room, which I do with a lot of Farrow & Ball paints, is they do have that brilliant metamorphic quality to it. So it does look like a different colour depending on the light that you perceive it in. This room, it sometimes looked like the most beautiful sandy beige. So you kind of do have those yellow undertones, but it's being balanced with red, so it gets more of a gorgeous warm neutral effect to it. It looks sandy beige, sometimes it looks mushroom, sometimes it looks like a darker taupe. It just totally depends on the light that comes in. It works beautifully in our north facing room, but if you are looking for just a great all-round neutral, perhaps an open plan space, a kitchen with a low ceiling, it's very dark, it's going to work wonders. It's so trendy, and we're definitely going to be seeing more of this style of colour through to 2026. And coming in at number 5, I have another Benjamin Moore shade, and all of these colours that I'm mentioning today, they do seek inspiration from the latest design trends that we're seeing becoming very, very popular. Earthy inspired design is probably one of the most popular design trends currently, and we definitely see this going through to the following years. As humans, we do seek that inherent link to nature and everything that surrounds us, so looking for those organic materials, earthy colours, warming shades, they cocoon us, they're calming, and they make us feel cozy in our own space. So this Benjamin Moore shade ticks all the boxes. It's called Muslin, and this is just the perfect bridge between those warm undertones again. It takes inspiration from the charm of organic materials, which makes it that great base for earthy inspired design, and bringing in earthy elements, whether you go down the kind of warmer route with rusty reds and greens, or perhaps even in my coastal bedroom, earthy inspired, I have some pops of blue, so you can really have fun with this colour. It's just a perfect base, living room, a transitional space such as an entryway, or even in your kitchen. So that's my roundup of 5 of the predictions that I have for the coming year and the types of neutrals you should be using in your interior now to give longevity to the decorating that you're doing, whether you're just renovating your entire house or you're just looking for a beautiful neutral for a specific room. It's really exciting to see how colours change, and as working in interiors and being an interiors writer as well, I see a lot of these changes sometimes subtly happening, working away in the background, and I really wanted to share this with you today because it's very interesting that we are starting to see these neutrals coming onto the market that are sharing both cooler and warmer undertones, and it really is the best of both worlds because you're going to get that metamorphic quality to it. And even if you do have a north facing room, I sometimes, if it's a very, very sunny day, it still does get a little bit of warmth, and that is when those colours are just going to work harder for you in your interior. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you like any of the colours I've mentioned today? What are your favourite neutrals? These, of course, are just my predictions, but I really do think we are starting to see a move away from these blanket yellow, red, pink undertones, and we're starting to see a really nice marriage between cooler and warmer undertones for what could be described as the most perfect modern and elevated neutral. I've also linked all of the paint colours I've mentioned in today's video in the caption below, along with some more recommendations of paint colours that I think will be really trendy next year based on what we've talked about today. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to seeing you on my next one.